Alright. Actually remembered my light right off the bat. Let's fix our chat. There we go. Been doing a lot from the same couple of books the past couple of, well, when I've had a chance to get on the past couple of weeks. So I figured we'd do something different. It's a little more intricate. It may take us just a little bit longer. Excuse me for 1 second as I get my hair out of my earpiece. That's better. They're not words for how uncomfortable that is when I get hair stuck under my ears. So this book is, pretty sure it's an AI thing. It's just, doesn't give me any artist names or anything like that. But it's got a lot of very pretty pictures in it. Some of which I've started, some I have not. Some we have done occasionally here, but I actually have kind of a preference on what to do today. But there are some fantastic pictures in here. But I'm kind of thinking I went past it. Well, this one's kind of fitting. Almost kind of makes me think of Oz. I think I did go past it, but I'll just show you guys some of the things that are in here. It's a lot of really, like, intricate drawings or pictures. And some simpler. That could be a good one to do one day. I don't think it's what we're going to do today, though. That one's really cool. So is that. It's been quite a while since I actually looked through this book. Now let's see if I can remember what I was actually going to do. It keeps wanting to come back to that page, but I don't think that was the one I was looking at. So I might just choose a different one. How are we doing today, guys? Trying to decide what to do. I think I'm going to come back to... I don't think I want to do that one today, but I think it's either going to be... I want something with a little more detail than I've been doing. And I think I like this one. It's a little tricky because it is a wider book. Let's see. I think I like this one. What do you guys think? Actually, you know what? Let's go for the golden. Go for the one with a whole bunch of yellow and orange in it. Well, it doesn't yet, but it will. So, I am going to be trying to be on regularly the next couple of days. I think for the moment, I'm done with the things that make it to where I can't pop in. So, we'll actually have a couple of days in a row instead of skipping around and missing almost a week at a time. But to be fair, I had really good reasons for all of my misses. Why I chose the swing to start with, I don't know. Looks like we might have a second, like a tire swing back there. Or it's AI and it glitched out for a minute there. But I think we're going to call it a tire swing in the back. It just happens to be hidden by flowers. And my laundry is almost finished. Well, the laundry in the dryer is almost finished. I'm actually doing quite a bit today. But we're going to take a break from the laundry and actually just color. Because we can. So it's good to take a break from things once in a while, especially when you're been doing it for a little bit. Hello, Life with Jamila. How we doing today? I think we're going to use this also back here. They're far enough away from each other not to blend in too much. Hello, Bob. I am definitely not anybody's bro, but how you doing today? And I am doing very well. I'm enjoying the fact that the snow is melting and going away. I'm just kind of getting some stuff done around the house, which is something I always enjoy. Thank you for that. It is not my art, though. It is a coloring book. I only dream of being able to draw like this. My brother can. I actually have a brother who can draw incredibly well. I can color. I'm not anyone's bro because I am a woman. It's very hard to be anyone's brother when you're, not. Yeah, you're all I know is the name you present in chat, unless you tell me different. But hello, Leo. Your username is Bob the Builder YouTube, so kind of makes you think. But if you go through my page a little bit, once in a while, you do see actually me popped up with my pets. Thank you, Moonlight Scarlet, but it is not my drawing. It is just a coloring book. I do not remember where I bought this one. Might have actually been a Temu purchase. I'm not 100% certain off the top of my head. I do a lot of art, not so much with the drawing, though. I am not coloring in black and white. This would be a brown. I just started out. There will be much more color added, but it's always good to start with one color and then you move to the next to do anything you would want to do. I'm not 100% certain why coloring in brown and starting out with one color upset her, but okay. Everybody has their things. There we go. I am officially tired of that shade of brown. Let's see. I'm going to be doing a lot of orange through here because it does look like a field of sunflowers. We're not going to do them all in the exact same shade though, because that would get a little bit old pretty quickly. So you just get this guy sharpened. Not all the way, just a little bit. And let's start adding some color to this guy. I will probably pop my markers up for the metallics a little bit. And might actually throw some in here and there just because it's really good for breaking up the color. go. That is definitely a good shade of orange. Not so much the color I'm going for, but I am actually a huge fan of the color orange. It's just a nice, bright, cheerful color, in my opinion. And I think, especially on days like today, where the weather is just kind of cold and a little overcast and very dreary, bright colors are important. You are absolutely welcome to subscribe. I encourage people who see my stuff and think it's interesting to. I like the organic way of doing things, where I encourage people who really like my stuff to hop in. A lot of people think it's kind of boring, which is fine. And I have a lot about my pets. Past couple of days have been very entertaining, watching kittens discover snow and decide that that's not their thing. So far, the only one of my pets that likes the snow is my dog. And he likes it a lot. It's like his favorite thing in the world. There we go. The little pops of colors make definitely a huge difference. There will be a lot of different greens in this one as well. And I think we might have some fun with the colors of the houses behind, just because we can. But for now, I'm going to focus on getting at least most of the flowers colored in. I'm a huge fan of sunflowers. They're just bright and cheerful. They actually are incredible little plants. They can actually pull, like if planted in places with a little bit of radioactivity and toxic soil, they can actually pull that stuff out of the soil. Which, to me, that is a very cool thing. I also love me some sunflower seeds. And so do my birds, actually. I'm actually a big fan of putting sunflower seeds on salads. Thank you for that. It's a wonderful hobby. And I do like the fact that it has become more and more socially acceptable. It's not looked at quite so heavily as just a kid's pastime. It's very calming. It's very relaxing. And when you're someone like me who has a lot going on most of the time, calming and relaxing hobbies are a wonderful, wonderful thing. I end my life when I finish the picture. Usually it's somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour. I don't run on a set schedule, because then you end up finishing in the middle of a picture or having to start another picture because you finished faster than you expected. And that takes some of the fun out of it to me. So I just go until I run out of things to color. I also have a bizarre amount of different shades of orange, just in case you were wondering. We're not going to do that. If we're going to start spamming the chat, then I will have to mute you. I know that's a fun thing, but it really just has nothing to do with what we're doing here today. I have occasionally had to give someone a timeout for stuff like that. Well, if you're 8 years old, I'm sure you have parental consent to be on YouTube, but that still does. You also have a good idea of what's right and what's wrong, and coming in and making it so it's hard for other people to talk is not right, is it? Okay, then. I welcome people of all ages, but you have to be respectful in here. There we go. Thank you for that. My kitchen is starting to smell incredible, and it is way too early for it to be making me hungry. I have a roast sitting in my crock pot cooking, and it's got 3 more hours before it's done. There we go. I think I only have one more left after this, and then we can move on to something else. Other interesting colors to add. I do wish I had one of my sparkly colors in an orange. I have just about every other color, but no orange. There we go. I do kind of wish they'd mixed at least a couple of other types of flower in. But, as I said, it is not my drawing, so I don't really get a lot of say in that matter. I will find ways to tie some other colors in. That's pretty easy. I think I'd be kind of a little bit afraid to swing in that many flowers. I don't really collaborate with anybody unless I'm actually working on a project with them. I always welcome people in the room, but it's very hard to collaborate the types of things that I do in my channel. But I do thank you for the offer. And if you look through my channel, it's mostly my animals, yard art, and, well, this. So, there we go. Now for the fun part. Now is where we start doing 3 dozen different shades of green so that we're not completely all one color. we're going to do this grassy patch back here. There we go. I don't know if this one's going to take me quite as long as I thought it was gonna. As I'm looking, it looks like I might have a few different kinds of flowers here and there that or at least things that look enough like them that I can make it work. Just so we can add some other pops of color here and there. I'm a fan of doing that. I like having little bits of other colors in there. Also trying to see if this is supposed to be wood behind them or what. This part's going to be the least exciting because we're just going to go through, and this is just going to be stems. But it definitely makes a difference. Just those little bits of green here, there, and everywhere. As we add different shades in, it'll give it a lot more depth and interest. There we go. Should have probably sharpened the screen before I started using it, but if I need to, I can always stop and sharpen her up in a bit. There we go. Starts brightening up pretty quickly, doesn't it? It's a little tricky. This book is small compared to some of the others that I use. And it wants to move every time I start to push down a little bit to achieve a certain type of color. You know what? We're going to use one of my shimmeries. It does need a quick sharpen though. You are welcome to do that. Because I don't have like voice chat on in here, you can get away with that without having to worry about it echoing back. But if you are going to do that, if you're on the computer as well, I would close that out. Hello, how are we doing today? Got a few people on parents' accounts today. And that's perfectly fine as long as you have your parents' permission to be on there. I'm a big believer in making sure you have permission to do the things you're trying to do. I'm actually very much liking this color for this. Just kind of changes it up a little bit, and it's hard to see in while I'm coloring, but there's actually a shimmer to this green, so it'll just add a little bit more life to the picture. I do not message people on here, especially people who are way younger than I am. I have That would be very, very inappropriate. I would be very upset if somebody my age messaged, like, my granddaughter, for example, so I wouldn't do that. And if that gives you an idea of just how much older than you I am. I may pop in with a different green here and there just to kind of break this up. We don't want it to get too overwhelmingly. I would definitely not ever encourage people on the internet that you don't know to message you, though, because nobody is quite who they seem on here sometimes. Everybody has their online persona and who they really, really are. And it's very hard to tell the difference, especially in a live. My birds have opinions about that, apparently. That was very good timing for my sweet little conures to join in. Easy rule when you're online: if you don't know for sure, assume it's a grown-up. There we go. It's definitely changed a little bit from the get-go, hadn't it? It's one of my favorite things, both with coloring and with painting on my projects and stuff, is bringing something to life and making it more pleasant to look at. Zelda. Zelda is my bird. One of my birds. I have 4 of them, but Zelda is the one that is currently yelling. She wants attention. There we go. The only way I would see your last name on your mom's account is if you subscribed or something like that. Honestly, subscriptions, I only see some of them. I only see what I'm allowed to see. If somebody has their account set to not tell me that, then I don't see it, and I don't tend to go searching. Some people prefer their privacy, and I'm good with that. Because outside of my, accounts like this, where I'm actually doing content for people to see, most of my stuff is kept pretty private as well. It just depends if my accounts are for stuff like this, or if they're for something like my family and things like that. Hello. Is it alright if I take the first section and call you Grace? Or is there an easier way to pronounce? I'm not 100% certain how to pronounce your name. Here we go. few little pops here and there just to change things up. I'll use this on the tree's leaves as well. I'm not sure why the tree's leaves are floating in bunches, but this is what happens when you buy an AI coloring book. I think we're going to just kind of quietly connect that to the tree there. And we'll bring some brown out to it in a moment when I go in to color the tree itself. They kind of got lazy up here, didn't they? That's okay. The rest of the picture is actually really good, so we're not going to laugh too hard at the random clumps of leaves here, there, and everywhere on the tree. We're going to go ahead and do this guy as well. Zelda. I've tried a lot of the online coloring, color by number type things, and I like to be able to choose my colors. I don't think I'll ever be able to really enjoy those because you're kind of stuck with whatever color they decide. And I don't know, that's just not my cup of tea, but I am glad you enjoy it. I really need to sit down and just go through and sharpen a bunch of my pencils, I swear. I pick up a pencil that I want to use and it needs sharpened, like, every time. There we go. It's a progress. It's just one of those things. We are turning this, which is really unidentifiable, into flowers as well. Because I like putting pops of color. There we go. Sometimes AI gives you a garbled mess and you just have to turn it into something. Exercise is a very good thing. I get most of my exercise walking my dog and running around trying to get things done. All right. Zelda, you're going to take a nap. Yeah, you're going to take a nap. She has opinions about that. Here's what I was looking for. Yet another shade of brown to go here. Oh, shoot, I forgot a flower. Since he's just sitting there peeking out the side of the picture, let's make him completely different. How about that? Hello again. I will be right back. I gotta go reason with my bird. Will some Millie help? Huh? Yeah, Millie will help? Let's see if that settles him. You're welcome. And because we gotta be fair, you choose some as well. Gave both sets of my birds some millet just to keep them. Right now I just finally got them settled, but if you go through my videos, I show them quite a bit. I actually did well, that didn't go as planned, did it? I did recently actually start one of my lives showing them. However, they are getting ready to have to be covered just for the duration of my life if somebody doesn't decide to settle her little tail. I show them sometimes, but always. I very rarely show them when they're being difficult. But you can see them throughout my channel. They are a constant part of my life and will be for probably about the next 20 years. Except for Sweetie Pie, which Sweetie Pie is a 28-year-old cockatiel. We don't know how much longer we'll have him, but we love him very much. This pencil is fighting me. It does not want to sharpen. Sometimes it happens. You just have to have patience. There we go. They do that, though, when they want attention. They'll start hollering at me. I definitely have the kittens. They are not amused with the current snow issue we have going on. But they have a nice toasty place to go hide whenever they decide that they are quite done with the snow. So that's always good. There we go. It was bothering me that that was just unfinished. Actually, we're going to use that just very lightly. We don't need it real dark. But we want just the hint of brown in the middle of each of these guys, because if you ever look at the middle of a sunflower, it is an odd dark brown. But we don't want it to be too dark. I think this is a good shade for it. There we go. Now, I think, where did my tan go? Here it is. Stay. We're going to do this house back here in kind of a light tan. And I think we're going to do this house blue, just because there is not nearly enough blue on this picture for me. And I know the sky will be blue, but still. Blue is my favorite color, and I need excuses to use it. This guy looks like kind of a wood siding, so some shade of brown or tan makes most sense. We might have a little fun with the door, though. And just make it a red door just because we can. Because that's another color I don't have enough of on here. There we go. Get my frames done there. Even though somehow or another this window is slightly crooked. it's broken in the middle, but it is what it is. This is a very good example of you get what you pay for. And I bought this book very, very cheap, if I remember right. So I'm not fussing too much. Now, and I want this deep color for this guy. That was sloppy. Now, need something I don't use all that often. Kind of a slate color for the roof. I forgot about that section, didn't I? There we go. Can't have one little chunk just with no color. That wouldn't be good, would it? If you ever notice me holding the pencil a little bit weird, I have a little bit of nerve damage in my arms, and sometimes you have to get creative to get your hand to work on things. We're going to do just a little bit of light in these windows, even if they're a little wonky. There we go. And I said something about a red door, if I remember right. Let's make that a thing. Sometimes it's fun to make your door a different color than everything else. I actually have a very, very green door on my house, which I'm a fan of, so it works. Let's see. I think this is going to be our other house. Probably should have sharpened that, but oh well. You don't need as sharp of a point for a wider, lighter pressure piece. And that just adds some color in there. A little something different. I'm a huge fan of just adding little interesting pieces to things. Just makes them a little bit more fun to look at. I think I just colored a random thing into the house, but I am okay with that because it was not super identifiable to begin with. There we go. She's getting there. She's getting there. Slowly but surely. Now I want... I think we're going to give this guy a brown roof. So it's turning into one of my longer lives, but I kind of had a feeling it would when I decided I was going for this book. Because this book is full of very, very detailed pictures. So sometimes you just gotta be okay with it being a little bit more than usual. But I have shorted people on my lives for the past week, so adding in a little extra time is not a terrible idea. But now, all we gotta do is just that wonderful suggestion of color that I've done in the past. Give this guy a sky. I just have to find the right shade of blue. I think that'll do. If I can keep hold of it. I am going to go ahead and sharpen this, just because this is going to be done from the side of the color rather than the point. Because we don't want it hard, we don't want it dark, we just don't want it bright white either. It just kind of creates that little suggestion that it is definitely a blue sky. I know it's really hard for you guys to see the difference on this one, but I promise it is there. I very rarely will do a heavy, heavy blue, just because if you do that wrong, it can overpower the entire picture. And that is not the goal here. We just want that dreamy shade of a summer afternoon. Where you just get, it's just soft and pretty and light. I am going a little bit darker than normal, but that way you can at least kind of see it. But I have finally gotten this guy done, and I'm very happy with it. And I will be back on tomorrow, hopefully sometime around 3 o'clock-ish. But we've gone well past my normal goal, and I'm okay with that. And I will talk to you guys next time.